welcome back to the Game Store Guy podcast. I'm your host, Kevin, CC Game CEO of Game Store Guy. So, it's been a little bit since I made a podcast. I'm going to try to maybe do these a little more frequently than I've been doing, but been real busy. It's the holidays. Just got done with Black Friday. Had really good sales. Did about the same as last year, which honestly, I was kind of surprised. I thought we'd be down a little bit, just the way trends are, the way everything's kind of been trending. The economy kind of sucks here in Ohio and most places in America. PlayStation 4 has been out, like 4 years now? I mean, PlayStation 4. PlayStation 5 has been out like 4 years now. Switch has been out, I think, 8. It's crazy. So we're kind of getting on the downside for like the Switch and maybe hitting the peak of the PS5 era. I don't know. PS5, Xbox never had a peak. Xbox is just doesn't sell as well as the other two systems. They are firmly in third place between those two. I know Xbox fans hate to hear that, but it's true. Especially if you have a gaming PC, there's really no point to owning an Xbox. And recently, they just did their Xbox year in review, where you could go check your type in your gamer tag, and it would tell you like the number one game you played, how much time you played, all that stuff. I mean, I have a gaming PC, so I didn't think it would be much, but I thought it would be more than I actually did. I only played my Xbox for a grand total of 86. Was it 86 minutes or something? No, it was. Let me look it up here. Yeah, so I just checked. It's even worse than I thought. It was 82 minutes. I played my Xbox Series X this year for a total of 82 minutes, and the number one game I played was Castlevania Lords of Shadows 2. So a 360 game. So yeah, I'm playing old games on it, and that's pretty much what I do. I play backwards compatible titles on my 360. So yeah, a whopping 9 games played on my Series X. So as much as I hate to admit it, it might be time to turn in the old Xbox to the store. However, it looks like Indiana Jones, which came out in early access this week and is available. I think I'm getting it tomorrow at the shop, the regular edition. Looks like it's actually pretty good, so I'll probably give that a go on the Series X. And I'm a big Indiana Jones fan, so I hope it's good. It looks like it's good. It's getting pretty good reviews. It looks pretty awesome. I'm stoked to try that, so at least my Xbox will get a little bit of play. But to be honest, man, I just want a new Gears. I just want maybe a new Halo. That's all I really want. Like Microsoft, like I don't know what they're doing. Man, like things like Gears and Halo, they should come out like every other year. They should have that stuff queued up. Microsoft needs to stop worrying about buying up everybody, all their competition, and just work on the current shit you have. You have great IPs that you're just letting die, or people. I just don't know what the hell they're doing at Xbox. I've also lately I've been messing around with YouTube a little bit more, putting out some more YouTube content, putting out some videos. Check out my YouTube, youtube.com/CCGameCEO. I've done some I've done some videos on stuff that's gotten traded in. I did on my day off where I went to the pawn shop and I went to Goodwill. So I'm starting to get more into that stuff. Says I don't know why not. There was a good deal on some editing software for video, and I picked it up because of Black Friday, and so I'm kind of having fun playing with making my own videos, doing the full YouTube experience, doing some reviews on stuff like that. So if you want to check that out, you want to see my ugly mug on camera, go to youtube.com/CCGameCEO. I've also been doing, I'm also showing a little bit of like my 3D printing business that I'm doing, showing some just. I did a video of my printers and my big old honking Orange Storm Giga, which is like my biggest printer, and that thing's amazing. I love that thing. I'm making some really cool stuff with that, so check that stuff out. Last time I talked about where I was at Torg, and one thing I forgot to mention, I was at the video game convention Torg, T-O-R-G, in Columbus, Ohio, and I forgot. I can't believe I didn't mention it, but one of the things that happened while we were at Torg was all of a sudden this guy comes running by our booth and someone's yelling, stop him, he stole from me or whatever. And it was another vendor pointing out this guy that just stole something from him. We didn't know what. And so some other vendors grabbed the guy, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm not fucking grabbing this guy, because like, what if, I'm not getting in the middle of this, because like, I don't know, it's one of those things, man. You're in the back of your mind, who do you believe? Do you believe that this guy stole stuff, or I don't know. It seemed like he did because he was running. Anyway, so they stopped him, and yeah, the guy actually stole. I think it was a DS that was worth about $800. It was like some kind of rare DS that was still sealed in the packaging. The guy just grabbed it and ran. And other vendors, jumped on the guy and got him, and they called the police and held him down. So the police got there and they arrested him, and it was actually all kind of went down right in front of my booth, and it was just crazy. Don't go to video game conventions and steal shit. Like, everybody most of the vendors that are there, almost all of them, are like mom and pop shops. They're just, you're stealing from somebody that's how they make their money. I don't know. It's you're most of those vendors don't make a lot, and the guy that got it stolen from, even though they caught him, he wasn't a big vendor. He was just like a guy with the table selling his stuff. You got to be a real piece of shit to like steal from somebody like that. But also, I was kind of like blown away that there wasn't more security at the convention. Now that might be on the guy that runs the convention, or the people that run the convention have more there. But I just figured the convention center overall, there would be more police and stuff around than there were. It took quite a while for them to get a cop to come arrest the guy. But anyway, enough of that. Back to the shop. Shop's doing great. Really don't have any complaints, other than every year we do buy two get one free, like on Black Friday on our pre-owned games, and I can't stand it. GameStop does buy two get one free, so we kind of just, my business partner, every year he's like, oh, let's just do the buy two get one free, and every year I bitch about it because I can't stand it, because every time they can't find 3 games, or they'll bring up new games, even though we specifically tell them it's only on used games, or they'll bring up two used games when they want a new game for free. It never fails. And like, the very first customer came up with 2 used games and 1 new game, and they wanted a free one. And it only applies if you buy all 3 used games, because we make way more money on used games than we do new. We barely make any money on new. So mathematically, we can't do that and still make money. And I bitch about it every year, and I say, why don't we just do buy one, get one half off on pre-play games? It's much easier to find 2 games, and you get half off the second. Mathematically, it's actually better for the store. If you do the math on those, on what we pay, it's better. Buy one, get one half off. It's simpler for the customer. I think it's easier to understand. And every year he's like, no, GameStop's doing buy two, get one free. I want to do the buy one, get, I want to do that. So I always like say, okay. Well, then the very first customer, I go, I told you so. It never fails. And then people, like, as it goes on, people really bitch because you get picked over, and like most of the good used games have been sold because it's Black Friday and you're busy as hell. And they always have trouble finding 3 games that they want. And so I was like, all right, well, we're just going to do buy 2, get 1 free. But if you can't find 3, we'll do buy 1, get 1 half off. So we started telling people to do that. And lo and behold, the buy 1, get 1 half off was way more popular than the buy 2, get 1 free. Should have listened to me. And yes, I told him I told you so. I always like to adhere to the principle of KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And the simpler you can make things for people, the easier it is. But anyway, like I was saying, I was doing some videos on some stuff that had gotten traded in or came into the store. And one of the things I got, and I haven't had one in a while, I got a Virtual Boy. So I did a video on that. I put it out for sale. The very first day it was out, somebody already like tried to offer a lowball offer on it. I'm like, no, I'm not. We just got it. Like, the way I look at it, I don't need to flip things like right away. I'm not hurting for cash, so I don't need to flip my inventory like instantly. And something like a Virtual Boy looks cool in the store, so I'm I'm willing to price it a little bit higher than your average, than what you're going to find on eBay, because one, you can trade shit into me and take some money off of the cost of that. Two, I am doing sales all the time. If you're one of our members, if you have enough points, you can get a discount on it anyway. So I tend to build that into my pricing structure on my games or my accessories or game systems like the Virtual Boy. And this Virtual Boy is in like great shape. It's like perfect shape, works perfectly, looks beautiful. I cleaned it all up. It looks like actually it's a really good shape. It's probably one of the best, in some of the best shape you'd see. Good luck if you want to order one on eBay and save yourself about $50. Good luck dealing with some random person on the internet. Whereas, you might pay an extra $50 in my shop, but you're getting a warranty, and if something's wrong with it, you can bring it back. So, what's that worth to you? To me, if it sits on my shelf a few months longer and it takes a little bit longer to sell, that's fine. It looks cool in the shop, and I'm in no hurry to sell it. And the guy that was like trying to make me an offer on it, he pulls up price charting, and I want to point out the difference in price charting, because I use price charting as just, it's a tool, but it's not the end all be all. And I've explained this like so many times on this, but I'll explain it one more time because there's new people listening. There's always new people listening, but price charting is an average, so it kind of pulls from eBay and shows you the sold units versus over time, and it's just an average. So on the non-paid version of price charting, if you look up a Virtual Boy system, a loose system, they say the average is about $449, so about $450 is what they're selling for. But if you look on the loose sold ones right now, there's one that sold for $390, one sold for $550, one sold for $495, one sold for $375. There's some in there that are like $200, $210, but the lower ones were like for parts, but those all get filtered into the average, which kind of sucks. One sold for $800, but that was with a case. So they're kind of all over the place. Price charting says I should have it at about $450. That's what the non-paid version of price charting says. Now the paid version of price charting, which I have, it tells me what I should offer. It tells me to pay $247 for a Virtual Boy if somebody brings it in the store. It gives me a buy it price, and it says I should sell it for $495. And it has the same prices of the loose sold and all that stuff. But anyway, I just tend to just go on eBay and see what's listed at the moment, what's been selling. Sometimes it's a little bit better. There are some that are right around $400 listed on eBay. So the guy tried to offer me $350. I'm like, no, I'm not selling it for $350. And actually, I paid up on this just to get it, and I'm not really in a hurry to sell it. But anyway, enough about Virtual Boys. Back to Black Friday. There were a ton of Black Friday deals. Sony probably had the best ones. They had all kinds of games on sale, and they did it for like, I think they're still going on. They did it for like 2 weeks, all their sales, and it's crazy. So the way Black Friday, I think I explain this every year, but the way the sales work for us is we have to advertise them. And so, like, say a game is like $60. I probably paid $50 for it. Say it's selling half off at $30. Every one I sell during the sale, I'll get reimbursed later on. It's usually a month, sometimes 2 months down the road. I'll get a check from my distributor, or I'll get credit at my distributor towards buying other stuff for that amount. So the vendors, your Electronic Arts, your Sonys, your Microsofts, your Nintendos, they'll you have to send them a report of all your sales, which is a pain in the ass, and it's annoying. But if you want to be part of those Black Friday deals, it's what you got to do. And we actually are selling things at a loss to get the money later from the vendors down the road. It's weird how it works. It kind of sucks, to be honest, because it's a way for them to get free advertising. Yes, your sales do increase, but you got to be able to. It's why a lot of mom and pop shops can't do new games. You got to have a lot of cash flow in order to be able to do that, because you're really taking a loss for that month to get the money later. It's it kind of sucks. I don't like it, but it's a necessary evil if you want to be part of all those big sales, which I do. But I will say, like, some of the best stuff, like Ghost of Tsushima was like on sale, like the director's cut for like $20. All the sports games, like college football was like $30-$40 off. Madden was half off. NBA 2K25 was half off. Really good deals this year. That's, I shouldn't have been surprised that we did as good as last year. I thought we'd be down a little bit, but I think there were better sales this year. I did a lot more transactions this year. Money-wise, about the same, but I think last year I sold a lot more systems. I sold a lot more Switches. Switches have definitely slowed down. It is time for the Switch 2. Switch sales are really, really slowing now. I think they know a Switch 2 is about ready to come out, and they're kind of holding off. Or most people that, if you wanted a Switch, you've got one by now. Or 2 or 3 or 4 of them. And also, Nintendo's kind of stale with their Black Friday deal. It's the same every year. You get free Mario Kart when you buy a Switch, and they did the same. They had the OLED one this year with Mario Kart, and they had the regular ones with Mario Kart. It's always the same. It's lame. Come on, Nintendo, do something new. Yes, everybody likes Mario Kart, but, I mean, they've done the same Black Friday deal every year. The other company that had Sega had a lot of sales too. Sony and Sega probably had the most things on sale. Sega has a lot of games. There was a lot of games on sale. A lot of good deals from Sega as well. So I guess the other thing I wanted to talk about this week is the PS5 Pro. So I've had it a few weeks now, and I still can't recommend it to people. Man, it's just overpriced. It's $700 without a disk drive. Even though I have it and I like it, and I have a nice TV that can do 120 hertz. I got a nice top of line TV that looks really good. It has all the bells and whistles and takes advantage of the PS5 Pro. I still think it's kind of funny because I'm more of a retro gamer, even at heart. So most of the games I'm playing are not even like PS5 games. I'm playing a lot of PS4 games on it. I'm playing, I still played, one of my favorite fighting games of all time is Dead or Alive. So Dead or Alive 6, I play a lot of still, and it looks great, and it runs really good on the PS5 Pro, but do I need a PS5 Pro to play Dead or Alive 6? Nope. Most of the games, I still play Shadow of Mordor all the time, and I don't need PS5 Pro for that. It doesn't really do anything to it. Some games are, like I was playing Spider-Man 2, and that looks fantastic. That looks amazing on it. But most of the games, it's a little bit better. I can't say it's worth it to get the PS at the moment. Don't buy one. If you're, I just can't justify that price. And to be honest, like 99% of people that buy one probably don't have the TV to pair it with or the monitor to pair it with that will actually take advantage of it. So for like 99% of the people, it's not worth it. I still think it's funny. My business partner bought one, and what's funny is the only game he plays is Elder Scrolls Online. And it's his wife and everything was making fun of him that it's like no different, and he's like, oh yeah, it looks better, or maybe it runs at a higher frame rate. I'm not familiar with that game, but once again, he's playing a PS4 game essentially on his PS5 Pro, and I really think the only reason he got one because I got one, and he's like uber competitive guy. If I have something, he's got to have it too. He's like the one up guy. Whatever you have, he's got to have something better, or at least the same. Anywho, well. Hey, I actually got some breaking news here. Not that it's really breaking news. It's cool to me. I was on Twitter a little while ago, and I saw from the Cavaliers, they posted that the legendary pick and roll duo was in the house tonight. It was Mark Price and Brad Daugherty. And when I was a kid, man, those guys were the shit. And the only team they lost to was the Bulls. And we're talking Michael Jordan's Bulls. The Cavs were usually picked to be better than them, but it was always Jordan that would take them out. And Mark Price was like, Stephen Curry back in the day. Mark Price, I think he held the record for most amount of threes in a game for a while. It was they played different back then. But anyway, that was my go-to in NBA Jam was Mark Price and Brad Daugherty. And I responded to it. I said my go-to in NBA Jam, and I did the hashtag, let them know that's the Cavs little logo. And Mark Price liked it, so I screenshotted it. Mark Price liked my tweet. Made me feel good. That was like if I was I was a teenager back then. So when NBA Jam was in the top, that was if you wanted to hit threes, it was the Cavs. You wanted to pick the Cavs with Mark Price, and he would drain the threes. And Brad Daugherty was the big guy you needed underneath. So cool to get a like from Mark Price. So that was my little, just made my night to get that little like from Mark Price. Man, when I was a kid too, when I was a teenager, we were tortured because the Cavs were always good, but never good enough to win it all. And the Browns were always good, but never good enough to win it all. But we're talking like in the championship games. Like Browns were in the AFC Championship all the time, just couldn't get over the hump. Cavs were right there, just couldn't get past Michael Jordan. I mean, not many people could. It sucks to be like the second best. Always a bridesmaid, never the bride. And now we're just cursed. All right, well, enough of that. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks to everybody who watches my YouTube videos, too. Go check those out. And thanks to John and Michelle for having my podcast on their network. I appreciate it. I'm out.